Yo, 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 yo! What's up, everybody?
What's poppin'?
We're back.
We're back.
You guys didn't really notice a break or anything, but we did. But we're back, and we're doing a what if episode.
We're here.
You know what? This is pretty dope because this is the first what if episode on video.
Damn straight. Son.
Yeah. So you guys get to see our lovely jar that says what if on it.
Yeah.
Isn't that epic?
We really have a jar.
We actually do have a jar, yes. And we've always used it in every what if episode without fail.
Anything we want to add or throw in before we just dive right into it?
Yeah. I'm pumped. I feel like it's been a while. When's the last time we recorded a what if?
Dude, it's been a month or two.
It's been a while. Yeah. Hopefully we get in a swing of doing more of these. By the way, I don't know if we addressed it already, but pretty unanimously, you guys really like the episodes.
Yeah.
The what if episodes rather than doing them like at the end
Hands
or whatever.
down.
And I think we do too.
Yeah, it's honestly really fun.
Yeah, I like having a full episode because it also helps us get to more of the suggestions. Like all of these suggestions for the most part are from our fans.
Yeah.
From Twitter. And just at the top of the episode, should we tell people where to continue?
Yeah, I do think we said it in a previous episode, but whatever.
Yeah.
Going forward, please submit your what ifs into the Bledsoe Said So Twitter DMs. I have particularly opened those DMs to everybody, whether we follow you or not, just so that we can catch all the what if questions. We really appreciate all the submissions we've got. I mean, at this point, we've gotten close to 100 in total, if not more. But it's across like 5 or 6 social media platforms.
Yeah, it just makes it.
Yeah,
it's a little difficult. And also, just a reminder, the ones that we typically pick are like really open ended. They're usually like short and sweet, weird, out of the box, but like open ended. So that we can like really ponder and like get into the discussion. Some of them end up being kind of like a very specific one, and it's like, what if? And then it's like,
very pointed questions with an answer, and it's basically like we're not trying to do this for people to like give us the question with the answer in it just to read and make a point. Like this, the purpose of this is for us to explore fringe topics. So
yeah. So the best ones are short, sweet, and open-ended. Very open-ended. You know what? I'm gonna let you draw first. You cool with that? Are we ready to start?
I'm cool with that.
Let's do it. All right, awesome. I'm so pumped to get to some of these questions.
We have a lot of new ones.
We just filled this jar up with brand new ones, so hopefully we'll get to some new ones. Okay.
I pulled an old one.
All
Hey,
right.
we got to get to those too.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a good question. This must be from someone in our crew because there's no like handle.
Oh, okay.
But it's a damn good question.
Yeah.
What if humans are the ego of this planet?
Whoa. Okay. What would that mean? Like ego, like ego in terms of like psychological ego,
Yeah.
So then that would mean that like humans comprise like the personality of the planet?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it's saying. But also, when you get into
that's cool.
Learning about like mental alchemy and higher levels of consciousness, especially when you get into people like Terence McKenna and Carl Jung, the concept is you want to like not suppress the ego, but you want to dissolve the ego. Dude, I mean, it would totally make sense to me that human beings are like the ego side of the planet. Everything that's going wrong with the planet is, I mean, it's humans.
It's directly related to humans. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like that because, and it also, it's kind of involved with the whole collective consciousness, right? Because like it's all of us together creating a mega consciousness, and
I like that mega consciousness.
Mega consciousness, yeah. And
it's like a megazord.
Yeah, and it's like all of our intent and all of our collective beliefs and personalities kind of amalgamize into one huge. That's so cool. And I really love thinking about the earth as like a living organism. I mean, it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it
totally
is one. But it's cool to think about like, because if you think about that, then each human would be like a cell or, an individual organ.
Or an atom.
Of the planet.
Yeah. That's fractal consciousness, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. And so if you think about the earth as a being, then like I think the closest thing to an ego would be us.
Yeah, that honestly is a really interesting concept.
I love that.
Yeah, like the earth, nature, whatever you want to call it, is clearly a conscious being, but the way that it communicates is very subtle. It's very like through just nature, life, whatever. But you could maybe see earth as like the unconscious.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I love that. And also I think it was Jung that
Carl Jung,
that conceptualized the collective unconscious, like when it's like we talked about that on the Marvel and DC episode. That's right.
Yeah.
Because like the collective unconsciousness there was like the dream world, which is so sick. And like, what if that's a thing? Oh my God! Now we're making what
if.
So
so then humans in our waking state, we would be like the collective ego. That's kind of cool.
That's
sick. I like
sick.
that. That's a cool question.
Sick. I don't know who wrote that, but that's dope.
Yeah.
Love that. I think it was somebody from our.
Looks like Jenny. It looks like my wife's handwriting.
Okay.
Jenny.
I'm gonna try to
shout out Jenny.
Shout out Jenny. Jenny the genius.
Hey, I like that.
I'm gonna intentionally try to.
I got you one better.
Newer one.
Jenny the genie.
Jenny the genius.
There you go.
Jenny the genie.
She's a G, dude.
That's another G.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one. Okay, this is a newer one. This was submitted by @CBarone, BARONE 19. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What if a reincarnation cycle is all 12 astrological ages? That's why there's a great awakening during every age. Some are ending their cycle, some beginning.
Low-key, I kind of believe that.
Yeah.
Like if our soul was reincarnating, it would have the opportunity to evolve under every astrological age.
So are they suggesting that it's like during the entire 12 age cycle or like each individual age?
What do you mean?
Because like here, let me read it again. Because they said the reincarnation here. Let me just read it. What if a reincarnation cycle is all 12 astrological ages? So they're saying, what if one reincarnation cycle is all 12 at once?
Yeah, that's kind of what I understood it as. Like, what if? Okay, so in this civilization, in the society that we have now, our recorded history is only like 12,000 years or something like that. The way I understand the question is like, what if every cycle of humanity has the opportunity through the 12 zodiac to like evolve their consciousness through reincarnation, and then if you pass the game of life or whatever, you move on to the next realm. Maybe like all the people who don't refine their consciousness, you know what I'm saying? Turn that lead to gold, mental alchemy. If you don't hit that rainbow body, maybe you got to come back for the next cycle.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about it in terms of the zodiac. And that's something that like I know. I think I know as much about the zodiac as most, but that's something that would be interesting to do a deep dive on.
I want to do a full astrology episode. Eventually.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
sick.
An astrology episode would be sick. I think even though like the specific the 12 zodiac like could be a specific, like if we dive into the origins of the zodiac.
That's Western astrology.
Yeah.
And then you have Eastern astrology. Like you have like Chaldean astrology, you have Chinese astrology.
Chaldean?
Chaldean.
What's that?
It's an ancient culture. Chaldea.
I've never heard of
that.
Like
a lot of like ritual magic and astrology and things come from Chaldea. It's a very ancient society.
Oh, sick. I don't know if we've ever talked about that on here.
We haven't.
Cool. Then we got to go into that at some point.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of.
Yeah. A lot of like mystical stuff comes from Chaldea and Babylon and especially Egypt. Spoiler alert.
Oh, shit.
Because the next episode that you guys will catch is going to be about Hermeticism.
Mm-hmm.
And a little teaser for that subject. Hermeticism is the one true spiritual science. It's the one. It's the capstone and like quite literally the foundation for all occult knowledge. All occult knowledge.
Yeah.
It's been passed down since ancient Egypt and probably beyond that. And the main thing of reincarnation, as far as Hermeticism is concerned, like every soul's destiny is eventually, doesn't matter how long it takes, eventually the destiny of every soul is to return back to the all, the mind, the one.
That's sick. It's so funny when we do these what if episodes. Almost every time we do one of these, I come up with a question in my head.
Yeah.
For the thing. Like what just popped into my head was like, what if the planet ceases to exist before each soul completes its cycle? That just literally popped into my head.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that's possible.
Right. Yeah.
I think this realm is meant for this, the game of life. It's where we come in this stage of our soul's consciousness.
Yeah. I tend to believe that as well. I think like if we follow these threads and we believe in, reincarnation, which, like, full disclosure, a lot of the stuff that we talk about is really fun to explore and deep dive on and whatever. And not all of it do I adopt in my own personal beliefs immediately, at least. Like I do really extensive research on my own before I like accept something as like, that I identify with that. I believe in that. But I could say pretty confidently that I really truly believe in this reincarnation thing.
I do.
You know what I mean? And so I think if you do believe in that, then you kind of have to believe like, each soul will have enough time to reach the end of its cycle before everything just goes kaput.
Yeah, some souls are just a little slower. And think about it. Think about, again, I'm kind of dipping into the Hermetic laws, but I'm not going to go in depth. I promise. We're going to do that next episode.
Yeah.
But if you understand the Hermetic laws of polarity and as above, so below, or which is called the principle of correspondence, you understand that if you pay attention to the physical manifestation through the law of correspondence, you can intuit information about the spiritual realm, the spirit body. And you have to understand there are many bodies on this planet that are born and they're slow to mature.
It's like what's it called? Transitive property?
It's a similar, but this is the spiritual law, the law of correspondence. And, through understanding, there are many human physical bodies that are slow to mature. According to that law, it has to be the same with souls, with spiritual bodies.
Yeah.
Some are older, some are younger. It might have taken them a few cycles to learn what it needed to learn, but the eventual destiny for all souls is to return to the spirit world. Spirit.
Yeah. That's sick.
That's the key for Hermeticism, is that the true reality is pure, unadulterated spirit.
It's a like super positive and hopeful.
It is. Hermeticism is infinitely positive. It's just no BS. It's the truth. It's like here, and literally, like when you read the writings from them, they're like, dude, we don't care if you believe, this is the truth.
Yeah. It's dope. Yeah. All right, your turn.
Great question. Okay.
Yes, great question. Thank you so much for submitting, guys. Please keep it up. We love it. We love interacting with you guys. We want to interact with you in as many ways as possible. So we got ideas brewing.
Okay, we got a good one here. Shout out Sam Marie Pittman.
Shout out.
Yeah, I've actually it's kind of a long story, but she's sort of like a friend of the family.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, she goes to she doesn't go to the university, but she somehow knows Jeremy.
Oh, cool.
They like worked together or something. But anyway, shout out Sam. Thank you for the submission.
Thank you.
What if déjà vu isn't just a psychic download of our past, but also our future or present in another dimension? Now, that's a mind-blowing question because about a week ago...
that's wild.
Yeah, about a week ago, I was talking to Jenny, and I said, you know what? I really think, like, especially I've been getting deeper into, like, meditation and, like, clearing my mind, doing the cold showers, doing the 24-hour fasts, and really paying attention to deep breathing. And I'm starting to notice that my thoughts are definitely becoming more clear at a bare minimum. And I started thinking about it like, I've noticed that, especially in gifted individuals, empathic, psychically gifted, sensitive individuals, I've noticed throughout my life that they have racing thoughts. Like my family, and I'm sure you have racing thoughts.
I have them at times, but my wife is like plagued by racing thoughts.
Yeah, and she's like one of the most gifted artists I've ever met in my life. She's a very gifted individual. Yeah. And, I've just noticed that it seems that high intellect, high empathic, whatever, individuals have racing thoughts. And my thinking was, if you're in the wrong state of consciousness, if you're in a negative vibration as opposed to a positive vibration, it seems to me that considering this as a multiverse, considering there's different versions of your own consciousness and other realities that you're connected to. Did you ever see the Jet Li movie, The One?
No.
Great movie. It's cheesy, but like the concepts are great. And
Is it about like a multiverse, multi-dimension thing? Oh, that's sick.
It's literally a multiverse, and like he's on a mission to like kill all the other versions of himself so he could be like the ultimate version of his soul.
That's dope.
It's cool, man. it's
so
an
cool.
early 2000s hit. Like, it's a good movie.
Yeah, Jet Li's awesome.
But where I'm coming from is I kind of realized, like, dude, just thinking in terms of theory here, if you were in a positive vibration, if you were like healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, and you're like walking the steps, it seems to me that what if your downloads, so to speak, are coming from like the highest version of your own consciousness from your future destiny that's the path you're supposed to be on?
I was actually, I think you might be onto something there, because that was sort of what I was thinking as well at the same time. And I've thought about deja vu so much in my life for some reason, because you've known this. I've always had like dreams that become real.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
As long as I can remember, I'll dream something, and it could be the next day. It could be a week, months. I mean, I had a dream about my wedding day, like my point of view on my wedding day, 2 years before my wedding day. And I never knew what it was until that day. And I was like, oh my God, that's what this is. And so it's always been rolling around in my head, like, is this deja vu? Is this me having like a prophet, me seeing the future?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? And yeah, through what we kind of explore on this podcast, that's sort of what I've come to start pondering, is like, I wonder if like a higher version of myself, either in the future, in a parallel reality, and I haven't quite like honed in on what I believe the source is, but typically what I think is, at least the thought that appears in my mind about it, is like, time is completely a construct. It is. It doesn't exist.
Your soul exists in every time. Past, present, future.
Exactly. And
you're observing it right now.
Yeah, scientists explain it as such too. Like that, like that. That's kind of understood. They call time like a spaghetti ball. It's like a ball of yarn.
Yeah.
And so, like, so if you're here, that means that this piece of yarn could start here and go over, and it's really hard to explain. But I've wondered if sometimes that time is like overlapping, and there's some sort of alignment, if you can catch a glimpse, just a quick fleeting download or glimpse into that future, maybe if it's a particularly positive moment, or maybe just like a particularly impactful moment in your life, you like get that quick download. I've wondered about that too. So I think you may be very onto something. What, Sam?
Sam. Yeah.
I think you might really be onto something there. That's so cool.
Yeah, but I just I've witnessed this my entire life, and like I think about this a lot because I've grown up around spies and psychics, et cetera, et cetera. But
no big deal.
No big deal. Just the life. Yeah. But I've noticed that people who are empathically gifted or intuitively gifted, but they're in a negative state of being, their downloads, their racing thoughts, whatever, manifests as anxiety.
Oh, dude.
It's anxiety. It's like they can't. It's like if your consciousness is a radio station, and you're not tuned to the station that you're supposed to be tuned to, you're tuning into like these negative channels. What if they're your own consciousness from other realities that are like, you're tapped into those versions of your own thoughts in a negative reality. But when you're in the right channel, when you're clear, when you're, just taking the steps to be a positive, healthy individual, and you're walking the path of your destiny, letting go of your fears and anxieties. It seems to me like, you tend to be more receptive to very higher concept, crystal clear.
He did it.
I did it, and it was smooth, boy.
High five.
crystal clear, intuitive thoughts that
Yeah.
which I think like, man, what if they really are from your future self who has already walked the path of destiny and is trying to help you like stay on that course,
I mean, I believe that the soul is that powerful.
It's eternal, dude.
I believe that the soul is that important.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah, it is. It's a piece of God.
Yeah. I mean, I really,
Every soul is a piece of God.
Very good. What if?
Hermeticism.
Very. Shout out Hermeticism.
Shout out Thrice Greatest.
Thrice Greatest.
Yeah.
Trismegistus.
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what that means.
Epic.
Thrice Greatest.
Epic.
Good one.
My turn. That was, seriously.
That was a great question.
Not putting anybody else down. That was one of my favorite, I think, maybe ever.
It was sick, man.
It was a really, really
It was especially so thoughtful, I guess, because like we've each had that very thought.
Yeah,
too.
I think that's a big
Yeah.
part of it is that it just happened to be.
Yeah.
We've both thought about that a lot. Okay. This one comes from @secondhand Vimana. Is that how to Vimana?
Yeah.
Okay. Secondhand Vimana. What if there were a group of controlling elite who want to subdue the masses by genetic meddling and suppressing spirituality in a war for our attention?
You see his finger on that button?
Oh, Alex got something to say.
What you got to say, boy?
What up?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes. Thank you for the question. I'm just kidding. I mean,
What do you? I want to hear what you have to say about that, Alex.
I mean, it's a multifaceted question, I think. Let me read it.
Yeah, please. And in the meantime,
just
if you
read it
wanna-
out loud again.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and read it out loud.
We don't have the Alex cam yet. Okay,
It's
we'll
coming, it's
one
coming.
day.
You just got to watch my
What
car
if there
again.
were a group of controlling elite who want to subdue the masses by genetic meddling and suppressing spirituality in a war for our attention?
You know what? Meddling is spelled wrong, but I think it meant like
Meddling,
like
MEDD.
MEDD. Whatever.
You're
I'm
probably
not that
right.
good at
You
spelling.
might be
man.
right. You might be right. I don't know.
So I think the genetic side
was
is coming
funny.
to the forefront lately.
Yeah.
As far as like genetically, we already have genetically modified plants.
Oh yeah. Glyphosate.
Huge controversy there.
Shout out Bayer Monsanto.
Yeah, or not.
It's the company that sprays like toxic chemicals on food. It's a real thing.
yeah, we don't
Yeah.
shout them out.
It was a negative shout out.
Okay, negative shout out.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout down.
shout in.
I'm shouting you down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout down. Shout down.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the connect between the genetic meddling and.
Well, first of all, I think.
Oh, you know what I think it is about?
What?
Like, kind of the way that babies are brought into the world today versus a long, long time ago with your advances in medical technology, but
Yeah.
also while the idea is good,
Yeah.
the actual in practice is having negative effects on children. But that's, suppressing spirituality is a social issue. I mean, with everything that you're ingesting and viewing on a day to day, I mean, you're made to feel small. You're made to feel like you're nothing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're replacing, like you don't have anybody to worship. You're worshiping false idols. It's all materialistic.
Yeah.
They're actively destroying spirituality. I think
Well, the
that's for
first
sure.
thought that comes to my mind is like, your mind and your body and your spirit are connected. That's also from Egypt. That's Hermeticism. But
Right.
your mind and your body and your spirit are connected. So it just stands to reason in my perspective, if your body is feeling bad all the time, your mind is going to feel bad too. I mean,
Yeah.
you ever met anybody with chronic pain? It takes a heavy toll.
Yeah.
So take that a step forward. They're feeding us garbage. I mean, it's not like they're holding a gun to our head and saying eat,
We
but
were talking about that today.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
everything that's easily accessible is cheap, junky food. Could you just imagine, dude?
Yeah.
Like SpongeBob with a little rainbow.
Junky
Imagine.
food, dude. Who would do that?
It's
Come on.
easier.
Who would-
And it's easier. They make it easier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was
And cheaper.
Yeah.
And junky.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though if we had a society of people who were just like eating greens and healthy? Like how would we all feel mentally and spiritually?
There's a reason that stuff's more expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think so.
I really do think that. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the
That's
crazy
a great
part about
question.
that is you can grow all that in your backyard.
Yeah, I mean that's all.
And in like the South.
Yeah, if you're working a 9 to 5 though,
Okay,
like
all right.
quite difficult.
Right. Okay. I
They
see.
got us right where they want us.
They
I
do.
see.
They do.
I'm just saying, it's crazy to me that you literally like,
Or the
you know,
Midwest or
you,
something.
you
know.
throw a seed in the ground and then you wait and then you have food. And
Yeah.
then you go to the supermarket and you got to spend like $5 to get that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Remember? Oh, dude, one day when I was working with you, Alex, a few years ago, I walked next door to Lowe's Foods, and Jenny, my wife, again, shout out. We were gonna like make stuffed bell peppers that night or something, and it was like $2.50 per pepper.
Yeah, it was. Were
Come
they
on.
like for organic ones?
No,
Just regular, dude. Come on. Yeah, and we've talked about also that the ones that like the produce and the meat that they pump full of all these chemicals and
Hormones,
steroids and
hormones,
hormones and stuff to make them grow and all
and
that.
then we get into
And
the
it- but it-
conditions
but
of
it-
the animals.
But that it significantly depreciates the nutritional value of those things. Like I mean, it's almost 10%, if not less, than the amount of nutritional content that you would get from a holistic, organic, normal, naturally grown produce or animal or whatever.
yeah,
It's fractional.
and then we're not even discussing how like the conditions that the animals are born in, and then the way they're slaughtered and the pure terror that they experience. Yes, animals have a consciousness. I can't stand when people say that they don't.
Yeah, I wonder where that comes from. I
It's
wonder,
old.
just like a
I'll tell you why, bro. Like
Yeah.
in the South, people think that particularly because in the Bible, in the very beginning, it says Adam was given dominions over everything that flies, creeps, or crawls. They're just
yes.
like animals, dude.
But I also believe, even like morally, I think people kind of use that to like excuse doing
Yeah.
it, or it just kind of helps them sleep at night. Oh, they don't have a soul.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when people say like, oh, fish don't feel pain. Like it's like they probably do.
I don't know.
I mean, or
the
like
way the
or-
nerve endings are. That's
Same thing with. I mean, I've heard people my whole life with like deer hunting, which is like the biggest thing in the South.
yeah.
Is like, oh, they don't feel pain. They don't feel it. They don't feel.
Yeah, they
it's
do.
Like
I've seen Bambi, bro.
I've heard deers like
Bambi cried.
wail in pain. Like
yeah.
like they feel it.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like what people are not discussing is those animals are born and bred into suffering, and when we eat their meat, we're consuming the vibrations of their suffering.
It's so wild, and they have made it so easy and convenient that we know this, and we still go to McDonald's. We
Yeah.
still go to Chick-fil-A. We still eat it every day. We're eating something that is like a quick, easy, shortcut meal because it's so expensive and it's so much harder to get.
Dude, Earth's ego sucks, bro.
Earth's egos, aka us. Yeah. Earth,
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah.
Check your ego.
Good question.
Check your ego, Earth.
yeah,
Yeah.
I might frame that one and put it over here on my.
Yeah, you love that one.
You
Yeah,
know
I
what
just
I
followed
think?
this person on Twitter.
Oh
by the way.
my God!
You know what I
really
think,
love
man? I think that the true awakening will take place when the collective consciousness has an ego death. Collective consciousness.
it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you look at on an individual level,
Mhm.
ego death and how just incredibly beneficial, and we've talked about it a few times here.
Mhm.
It turns people's lives around. So imagine if everybody did it.
Our collective consciousness is like the force, man. It's like being in tune with nature and the spirit world. And if the majority of the world lives in fear and negativity, that's kind of like the state of the force. But in the age of Aquarius, as people start waking up in mass, I think that scale's going to tip. We're going to
Yeah.
step into a new collective reality. Eventually, I think that will happen.
I think that's when consciousness evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about that cool Terrence McKenna like stoned ape theory, how
Mhm.
like human consciousness as we know it like emerged from early hominids eating like a psychedelic and having an ego death, and it showed them the world, the true nature of the world. And
It was
like,
specifically mushrooms, that theory.
yeah. So yeah, if that happened and caused consciousness, which that's a theory, it's it hasn't been fully proven, but if that happened, then imagine if the entire collective consciousness had that. Yeah,
Ate mushrooms?
yeah, sure, yeah, why not? Yeah,
That's funny, dude.
but
Okay,
it had an ego death. That's one of the ways
Yeah.
that we know that ego. It's not just psychedelics. Like that's what Tibetan Buddhists, Tibetan monks, That's what they spend their entire lives meditating towards,
Yeah.
is to destroy that ego, and they reach it.
Yeah.
It's like they reach a psychedelic state. I love that story of the one monk that they brought like acid to, and he literally, like, they brought a bottle of acid and he pounded it, and it
nothing
had
happened.
no effect.
Yeah, I heard that story.
So wild.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
come on, dude. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I've heard it too.
Oh yeah, Duncan
He
Trussell.
had mastery over his body.
Duncan Trussell.
Yeah, I heard it on the Duncan.
Steve-O, he went on Steve-O's podcast and they talked about it there.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, it's like a Tibetan, might have been Tibetan monk. I know it was a monk or somebody who had devoted their life to becoming enlightened.
Yeah.
But they brought him like an absolute like killer dose of acid, and he took it and then like put himself under a blanket and was pretending to freak out and stuff. And they were like, oh my God, they thought they killed him. It was like a really important figure. And then he took the thing off and he was laughing. And he was like, yeah, this doesn't do anything to me.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
So I've actually been wanting, this is totally on topic, so I'm going to slide right in.
Do it.
But I've been wanting to talk about this movie on the podcast, Gaia. Uh-oh, I'm sounding weird. Everything good?
Yeah, no, we're good.
I think I pinched a cable. My bad.
Yeah, it's
I
probably,
think it's you.
it was just your little headphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so the movie Gaia.
Have we
it's
talked about that on here yet?
Not on the podcast.
Oh, cool.
No, we only talked about it on Xbox one night.
Awesome.
So Gaia, so it was like the night of Halloween, I think, and me and Jenny, dang, 3 shouts.
3 shouts.
Jenny got 3 shouts this
This
episode.
is the Jenny episode.
Yeah, it is. We'll call it Jenny the G. No, I'm just kidding. But it was Halloween night, and we every year we like to watch scary movies, and we were like, man, we've seen like most of the good ones. So we were just browsing through Hulu, and we picked a random movie, and I saw Gaia, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. Never heard of it. It's not like a super well known film, and I didn't know what it was about other than the trailer, which was like there's something evil in the woods. But then you watch the movie, and at some point it takes a left turn. And you don't care if I spoil it, do you?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Spoiler alert.
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good though. So this chick, she's like a park ranger. She's I don't remember exactly what she's doing in the woods. I don't remember, but she's in the woods. And she stumbles across these creatures that are very mushroom-like, and they like attack her somehow or something, or she like gets injured. And these 2 humans, a father and a son, they live in the woods, and they take her in and they rehabilitate her, and she kind of like develops a relationship with them, like becomes dependent on them for survival. And throughout the film, you find out that the father and the son, they're like communicating with Mother Nature through ayahuasca and mushrooms. And dude, there's a scene in the movie where she takes an ayahuasca trip, so the viewer gets to like see the representation of her communicating. And I guess the premise of the film is
it like shows her tripping.
Yes, it's incredible. And
that sounds awesome.
It's not necessarily Mother Earth, but it's like this giant fungal network that has like spored throughout the planet. And he explains in the movie like it's God. She's the largest living organism in the planet. She's like trying to connect to the world. So anyway, long story short, she connects with the entity through tripping on ayahuasca, and like she receives messages from it. And the way that it shows it speaking to her is bizarre. It's so bizarre, I can't even describe it. It's like...
It sounds like the insinuation is that this fungal network is Mother Earth. I mean, the movie's called Gaia. The movie's called Gaia.
Mother Earth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Dude, it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I've said before on the pod, I'm a little scaredy cat when it comes
it's honestly
to
not scary.
horror movies, but I'm getting into them lately. That sounds like one I want to watch.
Yeah, dude.
Where'd you watch it?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah. And it's a newer movie. So like it's not super well known. But anyway, it blew my mind, and I was like, oh my God, like this is too on the nose. Like she takes an ayahuasca trip, and then she communicates with Mother Earth.
Do you think I should watch it?
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
I do. Oh, okay.
I baited you.
Yeah, you did.
Your turn.
Okay.
I bet you fell for it, dude. You fell right into my hands.
Have y'all seen Fantastic Fungi on
No.
Netflix?
Mm-mm.
It's a Paul Stamets kind of documentary about literally what you're talking about, the mycelium network. And
we
how
have a
it's
question about that
the
too.
largest living organism, and it's miles.
Dude, trees communicate.
Oh yeah,
through
they help each
mycelium.
other.
They pass nutrients.
Yep.
They pass nutrients
Bro,
to...
because this is a matrix, man.
Yeah.
but the way that manifests is like the divine feminine aspect of the matrix is nature.
It's so beautiful. Think about you can think about the mycelium like veins.
The nervous system.
Like
the nervous system.
It literally figures out what components need more nutrients and takes from the nutrient rich ones and passes. It's like a body. It's like a body.
Yeah.
It is so wild.
So this is a good question. It's one of the old ones from our crew. I'm going to read it and I'm going to toss it and it'll make sense why.
Okay.
What if thoughts are radio waves? We kind of just went into that.
Oh yeah,
I did explain your
pull
consciousness like a channel. It's a great question. The
newer ones, if you want a newer one, are like the thin printer paper ones.
Right. Listening to your dad talk about that, because this will be out by then, right? Yeah.
How'd you guys like our surprise?
So for the behind the scenes people who get to see the behind the scenes, the premium people out there.
Yeah.
I think I may have something about him talking about that, but I'm not sure. I have to go look. But we did talk about that, and your dad put it in a way that it was really easy for me to understand, and I'm not even going to try and go over it
He's
because
so
you did
eloquent.
much better than me. But you know,
well, I picked this question specifically. I didn't know I was going to draw it tonight, but okay, you ready?
Yeah.
What if the square in the Philosopher's Stone symbol represents the mundane world and the circle represents the infinite, and the triangle is about changing your square, your mundane, crude, physical, into the infinite, higher consciousness? That's
turning your square into a circle.
Mm-hmm. Square, or what Masons call it. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Squaring the circle.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Uh-huh.
Whoa. And it's also like transmutation.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
It's literally like transmutation.
So that's the secret of the Philosopher's Stone, man.
Sick.
It's about through mental alchemy, hermeticism. We're gonna go into that. You know, I just read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth again the other day to brush up on it, but that's the whole premise of the text. It's hermeticism is the secret science of the spirit world. It's the 7 laws that govern reality and nature itself. You know, they come from ancient Egypt. And honestly, I personally believe they've always been the true laws that are hidden by the secret priestly class. And there's this whole deified origin story about where they came from, but I think they've always been here since Atlantis, the Hermetic laws. Anyway, that's what the Emerald Tablets of Thoth are about. It's about using alchemy of the spirit to refine your base lower consciousness, or the lead, into gold, or higher consciousness, enlightenment, illumination.
Wow.
That's what the symbol represents. It's using the master key, or in other words, the Hermetic knowledge, to transmute your consciousness into a higher state of light, of illumination, of love.
So in other words, you believe that's exactly what that symbolizes. You believe that this person hit it on the head.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to read it.
That's epic.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
Great question.
Yeah, fantastic. Good stuff. I'd like to I think I'm going to intentionally try to pick a newer one.
Yeah.
And then we can go back to some older ones if you want.
Okay.
But I know that some of these newer ones are bangers.
Yeah, some of them are
like
all the ones we put in the jar are really good.
Did you say who submitted
Oh,
that
I'm sorry, I didn't. It was by at Anthony_IU.
You know what? This one is also from that person.
You want to put it back and read it on another episode?
I'm gonna put it to the side for a sec. Yeah, we'll read that one on another.
Yeah,
one.
just throw it back.
So here, I'm gonna do a completely random one. I think it actually ended up.
Do you want me to put it in the jar?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, yeah, this one is from at Patrick Rec 40. Thank you very much, Patrick. Okay. What if instead of our soul reincarnating, our soul is living countless lives all at once, and this is what we call life, because this part of our soul is the only part our brains are tuned to receive.
Wow.
Whoa, that's out of the box.
It's like that movie I just talked about.
Which one?
Jet Li's The One.
Oh, The One.
Yeah, it's like there's multiple versions of your soul living in parallel universes. But you know, the brain that this version of your soul manifested in this reality is only able to perceive the subtleties of this piece of your consciousness.
Yeah. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say it kind of goes hand in hand with the NPC meme. If if you're only living this one life in particular, yet all of these others are going on and you're only tuned into this one, then does that mean the rest of them are kind of just running autopilot?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That's kind of what I thought about it.
yeah. I mean, it certainly could mean that. Well, I think the interesting thing is, to you, they're all on autopilot, but to them, you're on autopilot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like to each one of those pieces, they are the true piece. You know, if you follow that thread, at least.
I mean, we're all the main character of our own movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or as Jeremy Van Bledsoe would say, I'm a shonen hero.
Jeremy is a shonen hero.
He is. He's the shonen master.
I think we said that on his episode.
He's the
too.
shonen master.
He straight up is.
Yeah.
He's probably seen more shonen than people that I know.
Yeah. Shout out shonen master.
Shout out shonen master. Yeah, this is a really, really cool and interesting question. And also, I know that Patrick said instead of the soul reincarnating, but I think it's cool to think about it in the perspective of reincarnation, in that if all these pieces of yourself are living at the same time parallel from one another and you don't know anything about any of those other ones, you know, there's this whole question with reincarnation of like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll reincarnate, but like, am I still me? It's like, but I'm not still me, right? I don't have my memories from my past life. I don't have the experiences, at least able to recall, you know, directly or whatever. So it's not even really me. You know what I'm saying? But according to this question, like, there could be 20 of you living at one time. You're not even aware of the other ones. It's just interesting how it's kind of the same concept as reincarnation. It's like,
Yeah.
you come back and like your body is different, but your soul is kind of still carrying around the lessons that it has learned.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm 100% in on reincarnation. The experiences I've had in my life have taught me that whatever you learn from the exoteric religions is not it. You know, like, I mean, we've already done a whole hell episode, so I'm not going to go in great length about that, but I'm hands down into reincarnation. I would die on that hill.
It's funny because as a kid, that was something my mind always went back to, was the thought of reincarnation. And at first it would go back there because it was so weird to me. Mm-hmm. And like, what?
Yeah, it was like outside of the Bible, it's taboo. But,
right. And I would think,
they took it out of the Bible.
I would think like they can't really believe that, right? And then
there's not enough souls.
Yeah, and then throughout my life, it's been slowly eroding all of the doubts and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, finally, I'm at the point where I'm like,
put it this way.
I think that actually is the thing.
In the words of Jaden Smith, reincarnation is the model. Reincarnation is the model.
We love Jaden Smith. in
this
and
Willow.
House. And
Willow.
Honestly, lately, I love Willow more.
Hey,
that album she just put out.
Yeah.
Also, Jaden just put out a killer album too. They're just like the super duo. They should do an album together, like a full album together.
Yeah.
That would be nuts.
Is it my turn to pull a question? I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
I also forgot. I looked at you to see if you knew, and Alex was like this. He was just like looking off.
Okay, we still have a lot of old ones from our crew, so I'm. No. Actually, no. This
is a good one.
This is from a listener. What if the divine feminine had not been erased and demonized through history? You ready for the name? It's _ Claudia, bitch. That's the name. Look.
It's _ Claudia, bitch. That's epic.
That is. I'm kind of at a loss of words.
Claudia, I love this.
You just made your mark.
You did.
Yeah.
It's Claudia, bitch.
It's Claudia, bitch.
That's so epic.
Yeah.
It's like they're here.
It got my attention.
Yeah. It's like I'm Claudia and I'm here.
I mean, the answer is pretty obvious. The energies would have been balanced and we would have lived in an age of peace. Because when the feminine energy is restored, we will be in balance. That's what it's about. That's what the lady told my dad. We're out of balance because the feminine energy has been suppressed.
You want to know a weird thought that I've had kind of around this?
Very much so, I do.
It might sound a little cheesy or whatever you want to call it, but I have wondered, because this is extremely important. I truly believe that what you're saying is true, is that if it weren't for the divine feminine energy being demonized and suppressed, we truly would be living in peace. And when I think about that, I can't help but also think it's an interesting parallel that in the at least the history of the Western world for hundreds and hundreds of years, there's also low key like suppression of feminine voices.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I
mean,
absolutely do. And like the crazy part about that is every exoteric religion in some way has, I mean, this is common sense, has repressed women.
Exoteric.
Exoteric.
So all
like
the main religions.
all the main religions. Yeah, in some way, every culture, every society. And
the esoteric ones, it's the opposite. Women are literally divine.
Like priestesses, and it's not like women have to be worshipped as above men. It's not like that. The energies have to be balanced.
Right.
They have to be equal. That's what the Masonic, the two towers, Boaz and Jachin, represent. That's what the yin and the yang, or the sun and the moon. The only way that there can ever be illumination, there can ever be true knowledge, peace, wisdom. The only way, the only answer is the masculine and the feminine energies of life, nature, reality. They have to be in balance.
It might be some weird conspiracy type shit, but like it is kind of a wild coincidence that like misogyny's just been like a real thing for the past few hundred years. Like it's been pretty rampant. It's like suppressing female voices. I mean, look at there's religions in the world where they can't show their face. They can't, like, it's nothing. It's just complete and total oppression, suppression. And obviously it's a much smaller scale here in the West, but it's definitely a thing. It exists. And
then the other thing, man,
it's like, is that by design?
It is. It is. Absolutely.
I've wondered that.
The priestly class, some people call them the Illuminati. Some people call them the cult of the Black Sun. Some people call them the hidden hand. Whatever you want to call them, I implore people to understand. I don't want to be negative, but there is a group of people who have, within the palms of their hands, they have the keys to shape the destiny of the social narrative of humanity. You could call them the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Gates, the whoever, the Bezos, like the mega rich. They control the narrative. Now the internet's getting out from them. But anyways, what I'm getting at is this priestly class of people, these family bloodlines, have been transmitting occult knowledge for thousands of years, since the times of Egypt. Seriously, this is not a coincidence. This is history that can be intuited just by simple research. Every major conflict worldwide in one way or another was orchestrated to shape the destiny of humanity. And what I'm getting at, bro, do you remember growing up in church and you always heard Mary Magdalene was a whore?
Yeah,
that's not even in the Bible.
No, it's
And you should read the Da Vinci Code, bro.
We're just taught that. Oh yeah. By the way, I put out a thing on Twitter asking people for book recommendations, and a couple people did recommend the Da Vinci Code.
Dude,
I think that's my next one. I think I've never read it. I've never even seen the movie.
Yeah,
I've never
read the book. Read the book.
But is the movie good?
Yeah, but there's so much esoteric wisdom crammed into the book, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm rereading Fellowship of the Ring for like the 50th time right now. It's actually like the 4th or 5th, but as like an interim, because I was
a big jump, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like literally 10%.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Just to try to because I was trying to figure out what I want to read, and today Ryan was like, "Bro, have you read the Da Vinci Code?"
It's good, man.
It sounds awesome.
But anyway, what I was getting at from that is it does mention that briefly. It mentions Mary Magdalene, but in the real Nag Hammadi scrolls, there's a gospel of Mary Magdalene, and you find out through these alternative texts that she may have been Jesus's wife and the mother to his children.
That I did not know.
You ever heard of the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Do you know what that you know how the Philosopher's Stone has like a Hollywood version and it's a little crystal and you see it in fiction movies.
Right.
And then the real meaning is like through the secret knowledge of Hermeticism, you can transmute your consciousness and like refine lead into gold.
Yeah.
The Holy Grail is a similar like Templar Masonic concept in Rosicrucian and other secret societies where it's not a cup, bro. It really truly means the bloodline of Christ. That's what the Da Vinci Code's about.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got.
There's a real belief that the Merovingian bloodline and many of these royal families who are obnoxiously wealthy and have all this influence, they believe they may be the bloodlines of Christ.
Whoa.
The people in power, the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. Yeah.
It's a little, I'm thinking a little much of yourself by thinking that.
They think they're the bloodlines of Christ.
Hmm.
Like that secret Grail tradition bloodline. Yeah.
I had no idea. I always wondered actually what the symbology of the Holy Grail was. I guess I always thought that it was the womb.
Yeah, it's the womb. The womb of the Christ bloodline. It's Mary Magdalene, bro.
I always wondered if it was like some sort of like mantle of power that was sought by all these different families and stuff. But like that is that's wild.
Yep. Good question.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's do it. We got time for one more. Okay, cool. We got time for one more. We still have quite a few.
It goes by so quick, man. I don't get used to that.
These episodes go by the quickest.
They do.
I truly think. And maybe we should do more of them. I don't know.
We should, dude. We've been busy literally making a pretty epic episode with my dad.
Yeah.
You know, we've been pretty busy with
We've been working on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Behind the scenes. Behind the veil.
Oh, we should call it that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we enjoy every second of creating this content.
My God.
It is so much fun. And
full disclosure, whatever. I'll just go ahead and say it. Our goal is like to phase into this full time.
Oh, that's our dream.
Permanently.
That's our dream. Yeah. Our fans are right there with us too.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so cool, the support.
It's uplifting, man.
It's so I really feel our fans wanting that for us.
Yeah.
And it ultimately, like, they'll get more content out of it, which is awesome. But I just feel like a real sense of care from our fans, and like it's mutual. We really, truly care.
You know what's
about
cool about that, man? Care. Do you know what I found out? The G in Freemasonry doesn't even in the lower levels, like the profane Masons who go to their local chapter and they all like drink on Saturdays and they're Masons together. They get one version of Masonry, and then in the higher levels you get a different story. So from what I understand, the lower level Masons are taught that the G stands for geometry,
right?
But what it really stands for is the generative principle. The generative principle meaning everything in this material world manifests from the, or you could say it generates from the spirit higher realm, the true reality, the one, the all consciousness, whatever. And it's funny because when you get into it, care, not just love, but loving about something enough to care about it in its destiny. So like if you care enough about something, you will manifest it. You will generate that occurring in your life. Care is the generative principle. People care about this podcast. They really do.
And we care about you too. Like we really do. Yeah. We're not just doing this. We're not just doing it for fun. We're not just doing it to create content. Like
no, we're doing it
to connect with people.
Well, I'm doing it to get the truth of the beings out. Connecting with people is an amazing
byproduct.
It's just the frosting on the cake.
Anyway, it's mutual.
Yeah, it's very mutual.
Truly is.
It's very mutual.
Okay, one more. We got time for one more, boys. At D the Rabbit Holes.
Ooh.
I'm gonna choose to assume the D stands for down. So,
okay. All right. I don't have any argument for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you having my back on that.
Absolutely.
At D the Rabbit Holes. What if people with schizophrenia are actually open to all dimensions in this realm and others, and are able to travel between them and experience life in all dimensions?
Great question. I handpicked that one too, specifically. I was like, this is a bomb-ass question, dude.
That's fire.
So when I was in Vegas on my honeymoon back in October, do you guys remember? I don't know if the listeners remember, but I saw Sam Tripoli live, like tinfoil hat, stand-up comedy, the 500th episode, got shouted out in the comedy and the episode, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And we hung out. But one of the things that Sam said that really made me like scratch my head, like, wow, I never thought about that. He said on the tinfoil 500th episode, he said, I think people who suffer from schizophrenia are either psychic or spirit possessed. And I thought about it and I was like, damn, that kind of makes sense. Schizophrenic individuals tend to be highly gifted in many areas of their life.
Yeah.
It's not like what you see on TV, like they're crazy. That's not what schizophrenia really is. And dude, so I started digging, like, because that fascinated me. I have a psychology degree. They don't teach you that in college. It's
No,
all
right,
neurotypical.
right. Yeah.
When you go through the freaking Rockefeller public education system and get a college degree in psychology, you're taught that, none of that spiritual shit is real. It's all neurotypical. So that piqued my interest, and I started discovering that John Nash. Have you seen the film A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe?
No, I have not.
Dude, great movie. It's
yeah.
It's a true story, relatively. You know how Hollywood is, and it's about this mathematician. I can't remember his university, but anyway.
But I have had it spoiled for me, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's schizophrenic.
Right.
In real life, he was schizophrenic.
Yeah, right.
But they don't talk about this in the movie. But the real John Nash, dude, when he was like getting downloads, he would tell the people around him. This is reported that he was saying that he was communicating with spirits and interdimensional beings. He wasn't just like crazy. He was a gifted genius.
Yeah. Have you ever met anybody with schizophrenia?
Yeah. I don't want to say any names, but there was this individual in college. Actually, this is a long story. I never thought I would tell this, but when I was, I think, a junior in college, there was a young like freshman who had just taken a liking to me. And we would like hang out at lunch sometimes, and we had like an algebra or pre-cal class or something together. And I started to notice that he had very bizarre behaviors, like he was clearly having an episode. And he started talking to me about like being possessed by spirits, and he said he was possessed by the devil, and like he said he was in a foreign country with his family, and he said like he was being followed by the government of that country, and like there were giant spiders in his room. And I was like, oh my god, this kid he's going through something. So I actually personally, discreetly, I went to the dean of student affairs at my university, and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I think there's an individual on campus that really needs help. And they actually like contacted his parents, and like they got him help. And
that's
it was
awesome.
I ended up bumping into him in public, and he seemed to be in a really good place. But yes, I have met one individual.
Wow.
And ironically, I was one of the people who like facilitated his treatment. It's so weird how that happened.
I mean, honestly, that's true care, for your neighbor.
Yeah.
Because like it was obvious to you in that moment, like
he needs help.
This person needs help. And like, yeah, that was like very caring thing of you to do. Yeah. I can't imagine what that would be like. You know what I mean? And I definitely, like, I've seen, for whatever reason, I don't know why, TikTok is mysterious sometimes.
Yeah.
At one point in TikTok, I found myself on schizophrenia TikTok.
That's a thing?
It is.
There's a category of...
For everything. TikTok, yeah, there's a literal for everything. But for some reason, it just started coming up on my feed. And it was actually super interesting because it was people with schizophrenia experiencing like how it really is and how society portrays it and stigmatizes it.
Right.
And it really helped me have like...
It's honestly mind-blowing listening to people with schizophrenia talk, and they're so intelligent and gifted. I used to follow an artist on TikTok who had dealt with schizophrenia, and he's like in a really good place, and his art was so like
captivating.
Yeah.
You when you see art from somebody that is like going through turmoil like that, and it's like it moves you.
I honestly do. After hearing Sam Tripoli say that and then researching John Nash, I kind of am of the opinion, like, look, the body manifests after the soul. We talked about that, especially in the anime episode. I learned that from Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I looked it up in Eastern mysticism, and it is a concept, but and Western mysticism as well. But I do believe that there are some souls that might have a very high like psychic spiritual potential, but maybe their brain, their body,
they're limited by their...
They're limited. Yep, they're limited by the conditions of the physical manifestation, and to other consciousnesses such as ourselves, that might appear very strange.
Right. Yeah. And
it might look like a disease or an illness, but it really could actually be a gift if they are like in a healthy state of being, because anybody can have an episode. You could have depression and you could turn it around, or you could be in a season of depression. There's cycles with everything, but when people with individuals with schizophrenia are like on top of it and they're getting the treatment and the help, there's some gifted individuals.
Absolutely. One of the like common denominators in the people that I was seeing on TikTok, because the funny thing is like the way the algorithm works is like whatever they know what you like.
If you like a video, you'll get a lot more of that.
Even beyond that, they track how much time you spend on a video before you scroll to the next one. They track every single bit of that. There's names for all of it. But so they were, obviously paying attention to the fact that I saw that and I was so interested by it that I continued watching. And so I got more and more. One of the common denominators was people seeing these sort of like shadow faces and shapes that would kind of like appear off in the distance. And I saw, at least 4 or 5 people that described that. And so that kind of lends itself to this, like as communicating.
They could really be talking to spirits.
Right. It's like, I mean, maybe some of those barriers are eroded and they're able to see into like the beyond or beyond the veil or like into alternate versions of themselves or shoot. Oh my, what if, the thing we were talking about earlier with like all of the parallel versions of yourself living at the same time in different dimensions, what if what that person is seeing is what the other versions of themselves are seeing too?
Interesting.
At the same time, like stacked on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting to ponder. And I want to be careful because I wouldn't want to be offensive to anybody that experiences it.
Bro, we just spent like 10 minutes talking about how amazingly gifted.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a really cool thought.
Very interesting question.
Yeah, super interesting. Thank you. I said who submitted that one,
just
right?
Go ahead and read it again. Share the love, man.
Yeah, it was wait, did I already put it down?
Down the rabbit hole, wasn't it?
D the rabbit hole. Yeah. D the rabbit hole. Big difference. Yes. Big difference. You're making a huge assumption, Alex.
My apologies.
Yeah.
But you made the same assumption.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
No. Thank you, guys. It was another awesome What If episode. Thank you so much. Keep submitting them to the
Twitter at what is it?
Bledsoe Podcast.
At Bledsoe Podcast.
At Bledsoe Podcast. Keep putting it in the DMs, and we'll keep doing these episodes every now and then.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
It is fun. Dang, that was a whole hour.
That was a whole hour.
Felt like 10 minutes.
I know. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Weird things happen in the backyard of the Bledsoe house.
Yeah, Reverend. But it's just in